ladies and gentlemen. The task I was given troubled me for a couple of days. I can paraphrase it a little, quoting Bertolt Brecht about Mr. Kerner, who was looking at the law books in a poem. So I did the same. I studied the law books, and I found that the splice is bigger than you would think. And more globally speaking, it's all a splice. The general topic, I think, should start with crime prevention. And you have 4 levels we're talking about. The first level is prevention, or prophylaxis, as the medical people would say. Things like schools, how they deal with school social work and difficult situations, or in kindergarten, how to handle natural and aggression of the children, and in drug advising, and the police works to protect your house or your car. The second level above prevention is avoidance, to understand dangerous situations. Current prevention, which can be based on a situation, but it doesn't have to be. So entering a difficult family in quarters and drug scenes, for example, or in places where cars are stolen more often than elsewhere. The third level is the prevention of relapse, in the sense that the next crime doesn't take place, and more important, to prevent criminal careers from developing. It's important to see here what some of you may know. There are the multiple perpetrators, the 3 to 5% among young people, 30 to 50% of all crime perpetrated by their age cohort is done by them, and there is quite a general effect. But there are multiple victims. 3 to 5% of all victims either are the victims of 30 to 50% of all crimes, either in their homes or personally. So there are dangers on both sides. Of course, we are looking at the victim side here because there is all the suffering, the damage, and as the other speakers have said, the psychological stress, which is a lot more intense, often not always, than the material damage. Then there's the perpetrator-victim-perpetrator sequences. Often someone who has been in victim situations is structurally more endangered for whatever reasons. They are more endangered to become perpetrators themselves. The fourth level is what I call normalization, which is most important, as there is a pathogenesis. Psychologists call it a salutogenesis, which is much more important, meaning how do you get people to be normal again, to get their life back, a positive kind of reintegration from the perpetrator to management, self-stabilization, support in that for the victims, for the families, for communities. And the overarching idea for communities and cities, municipalities, I'm sure the Lord Mayor has said it for Bielefeld, to create a safe space, a safe public space. And that is a sign that you don't accept that crime is done. We know that from New York and other cities in the US. If you make sure that there is no defacing, no graffiti, no ugly public space, that is a very good prevention tool. So it's peace, welfare, and security. That would be the buzzwords here. I would like you not go into the details about the examples. The first example would be social work that goes to the place where the young people are. I don't know how intensively this is done in Bielefeld, but the question is, do you reach the children living in the streets? Do you reach like 10% or 100%? Do you reach them internally so they accept you and maybe change their behavior? How interested is the police in children's gangs and youngster gangs, which happens which there is in Tübingen, where I come from, to get them out of those structures again? And then you have the social workers have to work with the police, but mustn't lose the trust of the children. And then there's police patrols. Do they really deter potential criminals? Do they really give a feeling of security to the people? When something has happened, when they're really perpetrators and victims, how quickly do the patrols reach this scene, and can they actually get the criminals? Can the victims reach the patrols quickly enough? That has a repercussion on their feeling of security and the readiness to report incidents. And then there is architecture that can help to prevent crime, and also the city as a place where you feel good and safe. Together with the people, you can think about, can you change something so they accept it all? So to open up the city to an open and livable city. If our life quality rises, we are more happy, and that will also help to bring down criminality. Thank you very much.